Hey there, welcome to a brand new episode of Muzikxpress. My name is Twan and in this week's vlog you will see my interview with Nic Vegter about the Solid Globe classic North Pole. But before we start with the interview, please make sure to subscribe to my channel and very important, also make sure to click the bell button because then you will get a notification the next time a new vlog is online. And if you enjoy my interviews and you want to support Muzikxpress, you can do that via one of the links in the video description. Every donation is very much appreciated. Alright, here it is, the story behind North Pole by Solid Globe, my interview with Nic Vegter. Enjoy! Solid Globe was a project from Nic Vegter and Nitzan, which you might know from tracks such as North Pole, Sahara, Lost Cities and Blackwood for example. The first ever Solid Globe release came out back in November 2003, North Pole. That one stayed at the top of the Dutch dance charts for 2 consecutive weeks and it got supported by big names such as Tiësto, Armin van Buuren, Ferry Corsten, Gareth Emery and lots of others. For this week's vlog I sat down with Nic Vegter to ask him about the story behind North Pole. My first question to him was if he could remember how he and Nitzan got to meet.
No, actually not. I guess we met through our publisher, and it was a first meeting with them, and we just had a click right away. So that's how we met, and that's how we started to make music. He had ideas. He was full of ideas. Very creative guy, and I had my studio, and we just started, and we hit it off.
Yeah. So, was North Pole the first tracks you guys had worked on, or did you do some other tracks before?
We did tracks before. We even worked with the projects which I mentioned earlier with Bianca, Nasty, some remix we did for her. And we did some other demos, but I guess the first release would be North Pole.
Yeah, North Pole.
Yeah.
So, what do you remember from the production process of North Pole?
North Pole was a very beautiful track with lots of layers of music, and I guess that would be my background. I was really a fan from the beginning of Chicane, offshore in particular, and I always followed Chicane. And Chicane had a sound with also very layered with strings and pianos and nice beats. And Solid Globe was inspired, I guess, by Chicane. I also use in my music, especially in Solid Globe, a lot of layered strings, nice little pianos, nice little sounds. There's a lot of layers in those tracks, and I know that Rez had an idea for the melody. It was actually a one-finger melody. I mean, it was the simplest thing. And I was the guy who made these big compositions with layers. So we brought that together. And first I heard the melody of Rez and I thought, well, Rez, this is much too simple. I mean, come on, it's like a one-finger. How can this be a hit, you know? But when you combine those nice chord progressions with a simple melody like that, it all comes together, and that's how it came together. He made that melody, I made the track around it. We left the beats quite simple because it was very layered, and it was very big with the GP 8000 string sound in it. And his initial idea with that melody, we put it on top of it, and it was there.
Yeah.
We thought
Get stuck in your head.
Yeah. It was sold. We heard it. Okay, we're ready. Let's get to the pub.
So what was used for the lead sounds?
The lead sound was a native instrument plugin, and you cannot download it anymore, I believe. But it was the Pro 51 plugin. And it was, I believe, the preset French lead. I don't I think that's what it was. And we put it through a lot of effects. There was always in a lot of my productions, I had the own voice delay, and the delay went to a filter LFO. So there's a lot of movement in the echoes on that lead sound, and that made the sound.
Yeah. So what else can you tell from the production of North Pole?
Well, I think what I just said, I think it's quite an interesting composition with a lot of layers, and that's quite difficult to mix because you have these layers and it cannot be too busy, and sometimes it might be a track too busy if you use too much little sounds. So that's why we kept the beats quite simple, the lead was quite simple, and in between we had the layers, which made it very beautiful. And so the mix was not very easy, but I think we managed well. Yeah.
So the mix was like the most difficult part of the production?
I guess so. Yeah. I guess so.
So how long did it take you to finish the track?
I'm always quite slow. I know guys like Mirko van Dommelen, which I did classified projects. He can finish a track in an hour. He is so quick. And I always had, a month or so. And Res is also, a bit faster than me. But he made the melodies. It's quite simple. But, I'm quite slow. I'll take my time. And sometimes I have off days. I will not work on anything. I think, oh, no, let's leave it for a day. And it might have taken a month.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with the track called Side to Fundamental Recordings, which Res was part of as well. So at least it wasn't difficult to find the label, I guess, right?
No, I mean, it was his label. So, the track was ready and it was released, within a week. We put out the white labels and all of a sudden, it got picked up, I believe, by Tiësto for the first time. And he put it on his Niana compilation CD, which was very big back then. And after that happened, the track just lifted off. Armin van Buuren started playing it on A State of Trance, and a lot of DJs picked it up, and it was my biggest hit.
Yeah. So do you have any idea how many copies have been sold of the track?
Well, I don't have a number, but I know that in my record, in
the collection,
in my collection, I have 30 compilation stages, which it's on.
Yeah.
So if you count those copies, Niana alone was, I believe, 250,000 alone for one CD. So it must be more than a million.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So we already mentioned that Tiësto supported North Pole and Armin, and he also played it in his Essential Mix. Ferry Corsten, Marcus Schulz, Cosmic Gate, and Gareth Emery also did support the track. Speaking about Gareth Emery, when we were talking about doing this interview, you did send me a whole bunch of pictures, and there were 2 pictures where we see you guys in the studio with Gareth. So since Gareth also had a track on Niana, which was a GTR Mistral, I guess that got something to do with it as well?
Well, not really. Of course, we knew Gareth, and Gareth was a friend of Res. And once he was on vacation in the Netherlands, I think, or maybe he was just playing in the Netherlands. And Res told me, Gareth is in the Netherlands. Shall we come for a coffee? And I said, oh, of course, come by to the studio and we'll have some coffee. And then we went to my studio, and actually Res and Gareth, they started playing on my keyboards. But it was for me, it was not a moment that I thought, are we going to make music now? So it was kind of a misunderstanding. So, but we didn't make really a track, but we went out for lunch.
Okay,
yeah.
So there's no Solid Globe versus GTR?
No, there's no lost track. No, there's...
Too bad.
Yeah, too bad.
During the years, North Pole has been remixed several times. For example, Giuseppe Ottaviani, Ben Gold, Relocate, Thomas Dodd, and Propspol did a remix of the track. So do you have a favorite version yourself?
The funny thing is that Res did a remix competition of the track. And that was very, very nice, because we thought, well, you know, there will be the good guys, you know, the known guys who will make a remix. But what happened, I believe Res got like 100 or 150 remixes in his mail, and you know, from guys you haven't even heard of. So we had 150 remixes, and there were a lot of good ones. So I really could not pick one. But then from this 150 remixes, Res made, for the label Fundamental, he made one compilation album with, I believe, with 10 remixes or so. Those were the best.
Yeah.
And I cannot say I have a favorite, but you know, the 10 on that, we made the selection together, and those were great.
Yeah. So by the time we're recording this interview, it's like mid-August, and we just got word that the North Pole will be remixed again.
You know,
what can you say about that?
I could say there will be a new release of it. Yeah. And
did you get to hear the remix already or not?
I did get to hear it. It's very good. So I'm very nice. It's very good. Nice to hear that it has another release. It is like a evergreen.
Yeah.
Every 5 years or so, there's a new remix, and now there's time for Mr. Bollier, I must say, who has remixed this one.
Ah, nice. So, what is your favorite memory when it comes to the release of North Pole?
Well, the production process with Res was very nice to do, because you know, it is very difficult to get the right chemistry and click with someone, and I think we really hit it off with each other. You know, sometimes you work with someone and things don't work out, and with other people it is a kind of magic, and that's what happened. And he came with that melody, and I came with my parts, and we put it together, and it was magic. And it was just, I mean, Res is a very nice guy also to work with. It's very funny, creative guy. Me also, I think, but you know, you have to ask him. But it worked, and that's why we also decided, of course, to make another one.
Yeah. Oh, nice. So, what kind of music do you listen to in your spare time?
Well, I like everything. You know, I grew up with parents who had a record store, and it was everything. I listened to from Vivaldi to Roxy music, but also, you know, M83, the French guys, Daft Punk, and nowadays I listen. The National I like very much, a rock band, but also Daughter. You know, it's also a rock band with a girl singer. I like that very much. So it's very broad. And now and then I put on a State of Trance, you know, and I listen to the new trance music. And I must say, you know, I still like that. They're a good artist. Sometimes I think, well, we did that like 20 years ago. You know, the same chords and the same kind of playing styles. But you know, that's how music goes. If you listen to our chord progressions, and let's say the Beatles in 1960, it's the same chord progressions, you know. So music gets recycled every 10 years, and so that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Please.
Alright, that was it. This week's vlog, my interview with Nic Vegter, and the story behind North Pole by Solid Globe. Nic, thanks a lot for your time, much appreciated. Thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed the vlog. If you did, make sure to give this video a like, leave a comment in the comment section below, and very important, make sure to subscribe. Also make sure to click the bell button, because then you will get a notification the next time a new vlog is online. And in case you missed it, I did a few other interviews with Nic. You can find links to those interviews in the video description, so make sure to check them out. Once again, thanks for watching, and until next time, bye bye.